Chess is more than a game. It's strategy, it's intelligence, it's friendship. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my channel. The game has just begun.
Hi chess friends, today I'm here to show you some principles of endgame. Endgame are so important in chess. A lot of chess players are not so prepared in the endgame, and you have to use some principle to help you to win the endgame. For example, in this position, it's white to move. White has a pass pawn. White can win or not if it's white to move? Yeah, because you push the pawn and black king want to be able to reach the pawn. Here you have to know the rules of the square. For example, this pawn, you have to count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So 5 move and 5 moves here. You have to calculate the square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a square. The square with a3, f3, f8, and a8. When you calculate the square, you have to see if opponent king is on this square, big square, or not. For example, king is on g3, is not in the square. So you will win with white, okay? So you push, king try, but is not on the square, in the square is the king, because now my pawn is a4, and you can calculate again the square. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Black king is outside from the square, so I push, you continue, you try, but you won't reach. And now I promote, and I win, okay? But what change if it's black to move? For example, I move here, it's a draw, because here king will be on the square. I show you now. And now it's a draw, because I told you the square is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Black king is in the square, so will be a draw. It's impossible to promote. Can you see? And now it's a draw. So every time that you have to promote to a pawn, you have to consider these rules, the rules of the square. You build a square with the count of squares that you remain for your pawn to promote. I told you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you see the position of the king. If opponent king is inside the square, will be a draw. If he is outside, will be winning for you, okay? This is the second problem. I take this problem from a book of Rosen, Bernd Rosen, and it's a really important book of endgame. So we have this second game, second position. You can see, you have to see if white will be able to promote his pawn. And again, it's a problem of the square. Count. Now it's black to move. I consider black to move, okay? But there is a problem. The d5 pawn block is a block for the king. because here if you push, now can you see the square? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. For this reason, this pawn blocks the reaching of the king on d5. So after you push, king it's outside from the square. So will be a promote. If here I wasted time with my king, for example, I do this, will be a draw, because black will move the king here, king on d5, and now black king is on the square. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you see the rules of the square? And this is a draw. So every time you have not to stay to calculate everything, because you use these easy rules. Okay, we see a third position. Now it's not important the rules of the square, but it's important the opposition. Here it's white to move, it's a draw. If it's black to move, it's a winning for white, okay? Because there is a rules of opposition. These king are in front of. White wins if black has to move, because if I push here, you come here, and now I have no way to promote my pawn, okay? Because if my king here, it's a draw, okay? If you consider this position with a move for black, like in this way, will be winning, okay, for white, because here black king, you have to know, lose his opposition, because if come here, I have this push, and there is no way to stop this pawn. If come here, I have this push, and now king has to come here, and there is a promotion, okay? So remember this. When two kings are in front of, there is opposition. The king that has to move will be lose the opposition, okay? So in this position, if is white to move, it's a draw. If it's black to move, is winning for white, because white has the opposition and black loses the opposition. So this is the rule number 2. After the rule of the square, you have to know the rule of opposition. Okay. Problem number 4. Again, the rules of position. Here it's white to move, and black has to be careful. Black king has not to lose the opposition. It's white to move. So if I move, how can you keep the opposition? You have to play this, always in front of. If I play this, you play this. If I play this, you play this, okay? Always in front of. If I push, you come here, and it's a draw, always a draw. If I come here, what can you do? You can play this, because it's a draw. If I come here, you come here and you block me, okay? It's not important if I continue to push. You have to be careful now. Now, what can you play here? If you play this, you lose your opposition. My king come here, and now it's like before. It's not important. I will win, okay? Like before. You have to come here, because if I come here, I come here, and now white lose the opposition. This is the point. Really important. Every time see in front of. If here is black to move, it's different, because if it's black to move, black lose the opposition, and here it's winning for white, because here black to move, and you move your king from the other side. King f6, and there is no way to stop it, okay? There is no way. The king will move. And now it's winning for me, okay? So remember this rule. It's so important. If you have to keep the draw with black, you have to keep the opposition. So here, if it is white to move, it's a draw. If it's black to move, it's a winning, because white has the opposition, like in this way I show you. Or if this is not important, you come here, okay? And black will lose the opposition. You have not to push here. If you push it, it's a draw, because king, again, there is opposition. Oh, sorry, it's not a draw, because you can waste the time with the pawn. It's so important. This is different. It's winning for white, because if king come here, for example, there is king f7 and you will defend your pawn. But if king come here, there is no position, because white can push this pawn. It's so important, okay? So, in this last position I show you before, like it's similar to before, I move my king, for example, here. Black king tried to keep the position, but now I can waste the time. This is so important. I can push my pawn. So every time you have to see if you have the opposition or you lose the opposition, okay? So in this video I show you five problem where you have to keep in your mind the rules of the square and the rules of position. Two rules really important in the end game of chess, okay? So thank you very much for watching my video. I will do a playlist about this type of endgame that are so important, so you can learn some principle of chess in the endgame. And remember to subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and thank you really much. So see you soon. Bye.